I'm standing next to the Lives That Mattered memorial quilt. A memorial quilt that covers those murdered across the East region of Northern Ireland. And on this particular quilt is remembered Patrick Anthony O'Reilly and Myles Francis O'Reilly, brothers who were murdered together on the 9th of March 1976. They were the owners of the Golden Pheasant Inn. UVF Terrorists entered the bar and murdered two brothers in cold blood. They also locked others in a room, including a son of Anthony O'Reilly's, aged just 5 years. And they then sought to have a bomb placed, which would have ignited and would have undoubtedly resulted in further murder. Mercifully, that didn't happen. Today's service, taking place in a mass on Holy Cross on the Crumlin Road, will remember these two men. Danny, son of Anthony, will share a reflection and will speak to the impact of that dastardly deed and what it meant for he and 7 other siblings to grow up without a father.
Prayer of the Faithful for our beloved dad and Uncle Myles, taken from us 50 years ago today on the 9th of March 1976. Respected publicans, loyal friends and neighbours, devoted brothers and loving fathers who had so much still to live and to give for. May they rest now in eternal embrace of the God's love, reunited with all who have gone before them. Lord, hear us. Lord, graciously hear us. For the happy memories that remain with us, Sunday picnics in the fields, feeding and brushing the horses, riding bareback through the fields, building tree houses and chasing cows, cleaning the bar and being rewarded with ice cream and cokes. Matching Dad's long strides, holidays in Waterfoot, Donegal, Kerry, the Ring of Kerry, or a horse and cart. Sitting in the hill in Glenconkill and simply feeling happy. We give thanks for a father who delighted in our laughter and was always there beside us. Lord, hear us. For the ordinary precious family moments, Friday nights with steak and kidney pie, trips to the cinema. We stayed to watch the whole film twice. Sundays at Granny's, watching the big match with Manchester United, waiting for the big room to open on Christmas Day, playing pool in the bar, running and away in the thunderstorms, playing around with the puppies we longed to keep, and the blue Volvo with no seats in the back, no health and safety back then. We thank God for the joy, mischief and love that shaped our childhood. Lord, hear us. For our mum, Geraldine, who passed away last year, devastated by Dad's death and left to raise 8 children on her own. For her strength, her courage, and her faith in carrying us through the darkest years. We remember also Auntie Mary and all those whose lives we forever changed by the loss on that day. May the bond of love between them all now be restored in heaven, and may we who remain and find comfort, healing and peace for the remainder of his day. May Dad and Uncle Myles rest in peace. May Mum now be reunited with the love of her life and rest in peace. And may we carry forward the kindness, humour, resilience and love in all our lives forever. Amen. Thank you very much, Kenny. Much appreciated for today.
Danny, I know today is a really poignant, difficult day for you,
Yeah.
but you and along with a number of your members of your family felt it was important that you would be with other victims and survivors in this showing of solidarity to hear others' testimonies. So do you want to speak first about how you came to be impacted by terrorism?
Yes, well, my father and uncle were murdered 9th of March today, 1976, by the UVF loyalists, terrorists as well. They shot my father in the Golden Pheasant Inn. I happened to be off work or off sick that day, and they got my mother to bring me down, but they dragged us down. It was quite brutal. They dragged us past my father and my uncle, who were on their knees with guns to the backs of their neck. They threw us into the cellar that was just opposite the way, a little bit further up, but they managed to leave the door open so that we were still able to see what they were doing, and we heard and seen exactly what happened to them, and it was the most horrible thing you have. Once they'd done that, they barricaded the door. Nobody was allowed out. They set off incendiary devices in the hope to kill everybody in the place. They just wanted everybody dead. Luckily for us, one of the employees managed to break the back door of the cellar down, which took a good bit of time. And when we got out, the place was just in smoke and flames. And then when we were standing in the car park, we were all dazed. And that's when the biggest bomb went off, and everything was just black smoke. From there, I was just a walking wreck. My mum was just squealing, screaming, and it was just a very, very, very traumatic day.
And Danny, you were 5 years of age at the time.
Was indeed, yeah.
But those memories are just so vivid.
Yeah.
It's like it happened yesterday for you.
Barely days go by where you don't think of it. Do you know what I mean? And if it hadn't been for yourselves, I probably wouldn't have got out to be thinking straight and being normal as I am now. And I was thank to yourselves that happened, and straight, because there was nothing beforehand. There was no looking out for people. The government's left you to do on your own devices. Like my mum had to bring 8 of us up on her own after all of that trauma.
Because particularly you were civilians,
Yeah.
and there was no wraparound.
There was
any
nothing at
fraternity.
all. Nothing at all.
And there
Aunts
was
and
eight
uncles
of you,
and
isn't that
family.
right?
Yeah, 8 of us. Yeah. A lot of them are all abroad now. That's why we're doing this interview now, hopefully for them to get to see this. But we're not only here for ourselves, we're here for the rest of these people.
Yes.
All impacted by the troubles throughout the years. Before my father and uncle were murdered, afterwards many more were murdered. And again, it's work like yourselves, and we need both governments to understand whether that in the Republic of Ireland, in England, they need to understand there's people being hurt and impacted by this. To stop it getting even worse, you need to open up and open doors and open your books up to see what's happening. To make it clear and crystal clear.
And Danny, I was very aware there today, as those testimonies were being shared, there's probably things that were said today that could have triggered you back to where you were that day
Yeah,
as well.
they were very, very poignant, especially Denise's experiences. There were a couple of other people that interviewed as well, and it was just, it brings it back to you, and it crushes you a little bit, but then you realise that people have to learn it from this. They really do. We can't let it go back to the past. We can't have the younger generation need a chance to be able to figure out their own futures with peace, harmony, as much as we can give them. And if you don't open up your books and show exactly what you were involved in, what you weren't involved in, that's the only way to go forward, in my personal opinion, Europe-wide.
Yeah,
for everybody.
Absolutely. And that involvement as well today of Travis bringing a different dimension of terror to the situation was useful, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's poignant as well to understand that a lot of the ones who were actually injured or hurt in London weren't actually English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Terrorism doesn't care who you are. Do you know what I mean? They just want to see the results of it. And if you keep holding bitterness and hatred, and don't open up the clarity in your own life and in the lives of politicians, none of this is going to get any clearer.
Absolutely.
And it won't help any other generation after it. So it needs to be done. And Travis's words were very, very clear and crystal clear. And it was lovely, followed by the niece. It was very, very nice. Hurtful at the same time because it brings back so many memories of what happened
and the
to us.
walk that you had.
Yeah.
Yes. And Danny, just I wanted as well to give you some time. Would you paint for us just a picture of who your daddy and your uncle were as men, what their value system was, and what they were doing at that particular time in life?
Well, Innismen, they'd recently got married. My father had the 8 of us. Mm-hmm. My uncle and aunt were, Uncle Myles and Auntie Mary were just starting their lives out. So the Golden Pheasant was really the be all and end all there. They built it up from a little hut into a renowned restaurant. Mm-hmm. And it was known throughout England and Ireland, didn't matter where you were, Northern Ireland. And some well-known people came to it. They had built that up to a beautiful place, brilliant restaurant, and then all to have it destroyed in such a violent, horrible way.
Yeah.
And their lives, they were beautiful men. They were just wanted to see us happy. To have a nice, beautiful future for us, and that's what the whole point of them bringing us out of North Belfast. They wanted to see a life in the future where they congregated with all ways of life, whether it been Orange parades, Protestant parades, Catholic parades, St. Patrick's Day. They were involved in them all. Helped, no matter who you were, they didn't care.
And as you said, there was almost that cruel irony that North Belfast, known, that murder triangle, and within such a small distance, the amount of death there was, for them to come to what was deemed to be a relatively safe area, and for this to happen.
That's what they were thinking, It just shows you that they tried their best. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they were murdered in such a violent way that they didn't, but that leaves values for us to live by now, and we've lived by those.
I was going to say, Danny, your entire siblings, it didn't radicalise you to become involved in violence.
We could have easily,
You could have, and there were those pushes and pulls probably at that time.
Yeah.
But you knew because of how you were brought up.
Exactly.
That was not
100%.
The way. Yeah.
100%. It's just not the way to go. There's no way to build a future at all. And those people who try and drag you into these things, they're weak. They're weak people. Yes. That's what they are. They're just weak.
And Danny, just to finish today as well, there was a younger person was here today as well, who basically had come from a school in Crumlin today.
That's right.
And I know you've spoken about this issue before, your wish that the next generation would be educated around all of this.
That's it. And it was good to see, beautiful to see.
And you've had engagements in the past with school youngsters as well about your story.
Yeah.
So listen,
they need to hear it as well.
All we want to know with all of this story, Danny, is that the O'Reillys, their legacy must live on, because the decent values they live by is now coming through you, and you no doubt want this to go into the next generation also.
Definitely.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Thank you.